So I'm fortunate enough to have Mark Hanchett here with me. He's the founder and CEO of Atlis Motors, and you're doing a very exciting thing, I think, for a lot of our viewers out there. You are working on an electric pickup truck.
Yeah, absolutely. We started the company with the idea of electrification of the pickup trucks and heavy duty trucks, and we think that one of the most exciting areas for electrification is in pickup trucks themselves. They're the biggest emitters of pollutants when it comes to automotive vehicles, and it presents one of the biggest opportunities for disruption for incumbents that have existed for over 100 years that have been developing some really great vehicles. But it's a great opportunity to deliver a new solution and really truly make a leap forward for electrification.
Now, you're currently trying to raise $1 million so that you can build a prototype of your, I think it's your 75T, which is your 3/4 ton pickup truck. And I guess I'm kind of interested as to how it's going with your fundraising.
So the fundraising is actually going very well. We've had a few hiccups in terms of just lessons learned. First time doing a crowdfunding campaign, so trying to understand how much we have to do in terms of advertisements and messaging, what's truly important, getting the word out, especially being such a young company with, we're not big. We only have about currently 6 members that are, working either full-time or part-time on the project. So building confidence in the industry and building confidence in our investors is something that we've been working diligently towards, and we've had some lessons that we've had to learn there. And we think we're making great progress considering the big challenge that we have. And we also look forward to, we love the idea of the people that want an electric pickup truck to really own part of the success that we're going to have.
That's right, because there are some cool perks for early investors in your company, right? If I think you're picking like 4 at random who will get the truck.
Yep.
And then there's also discounts for early investors as well.
Yeah, so each early investor gets a discount depending on how much they actually put in. Some of them are fairly significant discounts. And then to add some excitement to it, we are giving away some free vehicles when we start shipping it. And, we believe that if you support us in the beginning, you should be rewarded for that. And beyond just ownership of the company, it should be something that's fun and exciting. And we hope people like it.
Now, talk to our viewers about the truck itself. Let's talk about some of the stats that you hope to have. I mean, obviously, you don't have a prototype yet, so we're not going to hold you to it. But what are kind of some of your dreams for the vehicle?
So when we kind of started this, we didn't want to start off with, it's an electrified pickup truck, but you can't tow anything. You can't really haul anything. It's meant for the commuter individual that just bought a pickup truck. Maybe they go to Home Depot on the weekends and do some kind of weekend projects. We really wanted to focus on building a pickup truck for those that use it for what it is intended to be used for. So we spent a tremendous amount of time trying to understand the technology and capabilities, the restrictions that exist out there today with electric vehicles, and how can we overcome those? How can we match a diesel or gas pickup truck's capabilities today? And that has to be the goal. I don't believe that if you're going to go after this market, you have to be at minimum 1-to-1, if not better, in capabilities and experience than what exists today. If you're not, we're not really making a leap forward, and we're making a leap backwards.
And so let's talk about the big numbers that people are going to ask about, things like range. What are you hoping this truck can do?
So we're very confident we can hit at minimum the 300-mile range, and then in a larger vehicle like a 3/4 ton and 1 ton vehicle, we're very confident we can hit 500 miles of range, and that's unloaded technically. And the reason why we went after that is because that's a typical range of, say, a diesel pickup truck with a standard 31 to 33 gallon tank. You can get anywhere between 400 and 500 miles of range, so that's a target that we felt we had to hit. And then for 300 miles of range, we aim for that target because that is kind of the bare minimum for a work truck half-ton vehicle that maybe does some light towing around town. Maybe you're going from job site to job site for various different professions, whether you're in the trades, like you're a plumber, electrician, you're into general construction, or you're a landscaper. And your guys are going from house to house. So we set those goals based on the use cases and a lot of the market feedback, where individuals said, if you can't do 300 or more miles, then it doesn't make it. There's no value proposition for them.
We were talking about charging time, and I guess the part that that I think a lot of viewers, myself included, are going to kind of wonder about is like, okay, well, Tesla can't charge their vehicles much faster than half an hour to an hour. How are you going to be able to do it in 15 minutes?
All right. So it comes down to selecting the right chemistry and construction of a battery cell.
Okay.
So you can apply a lot of stress to the cell, right, and still get high cycle rates, and it's going to last 10 years and still get the right energy density. And then the other side of it is properly managing the thermal characteristics of the cell. As the cell gets hot, right, it begins to actually break down much faster, especially when you're trying to pump a lot of energy into the cell. So properly managing the thermal characteristics of the cell is very, very important. And to do kind of those things, you can't just buy something off the shelf and plug it in. You really have to design the product or the cell itself for the specific application that you're going for. Okay. And what other companies have done is they've basically, like Cattle and LG and Panasonic, right, is they've taken common constructions and just combined that into a pack, right? And they've added some thermal management, but as you know, it doesn't work well in hot, it doesn't work well in cold, right? And when you try to charge it quickly, you get degradation in performance. So it's important to sort of combine all of those things, but you have to really design the cell itself to be properly thermally managed and have the right chemistry or the right kind of base chemistry and construction for high charge rates and high cycle rates. Now, you could build a battery that can charge in 15 minutes, but you don't have a charging station that can support it, right? And that's the other big kind of hiccup. The charging infrastructure is very fragmented. It's very broken, and your experience on day one might be you get a great power output from that charging station, and on day two, for some reason, it's lower, or you're sharing that with another one. Mm-hmm. So we haven't completed, of course, building that, but we spent a lot of time meeting with utility companies and talking with people that build charging stations today to really understand that problem and say, okay, let's say we have a 100 kilowatt hour pack, right, and we need 400 kilowatts to charge that in 15 minutes roughly. How can we achieve that, and how can we achieve that every single time?
So people who are out there going, well, okay, well, Mark, you're a 6-person team right now. How can you compete with, Panasonic and Tesla and Cattle and all these big companies who must have, hundreds and thousands of engineers working on it? Like, what do you say to them when you're trying to do what seems like, to me, an overwhelming task?
So everything's going to start small. So what we have to do right now is we need to prove ourselves that we can do what we're saying we're going to do, right? You're absolutely correct that, yes, there's a ton of funding, big companies out there with lots of funding that are putting money into us. I think in terms of innovation, it's typically not the big companies that innovate quickly. It's small companies that really we're not held down by either the internal bureaucracy of how things are done. We're not held down necessarily by the financial numbers currently, because we're in that kind of startup growth phase. That means we can take really big risks. And that's what kind of gives us an edge, is our ability to not follow what we've done before and invested money in before. This gives us an opportunity to take big risks to solve truly valuable problems. Right? Problems that others are not solving today. And that's our advantage.
There's lots of, pickup truck companies out there now. Very few, if any, except for maybe Workhorse, are doing an electric pickup truck, maybe Bollinger. Do you see, Tesla as being a competitor to you, and do you see that as being a problem if they enter the pickup truck market? Competitor,
yes. Problem, no. I think if Tesla enters the pickup truck market, that helps kind of justify that this is a real opportunity, right, for us, for Tesla, for everyone out there. If we're the only person in the market doing this, then there's not a lot of justification that what we're doing is either desired by the market or it's real. But when we have someone like Tesla enter the market, and we know that they are building one or designing one currently, having them kind of jump into the market, that helps support what we're doing and our vision and where we're going. And now, if you were to ask, what's my future vision for the company? Today, GM, Ford, and Ram own, a huge majority. I think it's roughly 80% of the market today. I think it's time for someone else to come in and truly dominate that market. That's my intent. But we do need competitors in the market. One, it keeps innovation going. Two, it helps kind of justify the market and the product if others are doing it. Now, in terms of other pickup truck solutions that are out there, like hybrid solutions and things like that, I think those are great stepping stones. But I think electrification as a battery electric vehicle is just going to be that next leap forward, and it makes sense to just go for that.
Now, you have a lot of interest in your company. I've heard that you have a lot of pre-orders for your truck. How many pre-orders do you have to date?
We have about, the last number I saw is only about $35 million in pre-orders currently.
Only?
What?
Only? That sounds like a lot.
Only $35 million in pre-orders. But it's hand raisers. We don't take a deposit today. And we made a conscious decision to do that simply because we don't have a prototype yet. So asking people to put $100 or $500 or $1,200 out in something that they haven't physically seen, we didn't necessarily agree with that kind of concept. We thought, here's what we're pitching. Would you buy it? We've had a tremendous amount of interest in this. We've had a tremendous amount of interest in individuals that want to take our vehicle in some of the most extreme conditions just to demonstrate it and see that it can do it. And we're really happy about that. And we look forward to a lot of those opportunities to really showcase what it can do and prove, to the world that we're real and what we're doing is it's going to be great.
Now, you have a subscription option, I saw. So basically, people can obviously buy the truck outright, but then you're planning on maybe having a subscription option. Talk to us about that. Talking
with a number of customers and then kind of following the market trends of, vehicle ownership. A lot of people enjoy the lease concept, right? Because maybe they don't drive a large number of miles, but they could get a new vehicle every 2-3 years, depending on what the option is. But it comes with a number of restrictions. And then aside from that, it's the trying to fix the headaches and the frustrations around maintenance of vehicles and just trying to improve the owner experience. So we started playing around with the concept of a subscription where you pay for a vehicle, but instead of swapping your vehicle out every month, which some individuals like and some don't, it's the idea that this is yours, right? It's your vehicle, you own it, but you don't have to worry about it, right? If something breaks, bring it in, we'll take care of it. If you need tires every year, right, then bring it in. We'll change your tires out. We'll rotate them when necessary. We wanted to create an opportunity for vehicle owners to have this incredibly positive experience around owning a vehicle, something that they don't get today with internal combustion engine vehicles in the existing models. But we wanted to give them something where it doesn't feel like a rental car, right? It doesn't feel like something where today you have a brand new one and tomorrow you have one that's 2 years old. We wanted to give them something where, look, this is yours. Use this. Do what you have to do with it. And then when your time is up, whether it's 3, 5, or 7 years, depending on the plan that they have selected, right? Bring it in, we swap it out for the next generation model, and you just keep going. But you don't have to worry about it.
For people who are watching who are like, this Atlis truck sounds like it could be cool, what's the starting price? Where can they go to find out information like that? And also, what will be the starting base price of the car, do you think?
So they can go to our website, www.atlismotorvehicles.com. They can also go to the crowdfunding site, which is www.startengine.com/atlis-motors-vehicles. Mm-hmm. In any one of those locations, you can find any current information that we have publicly released. Our intended starting price for a four-door, four-wheel drive, 300-mile range vehicle is $45,000. That is our goal. That is what we are aiming to hit. It's a do or die scenario for us, I think. If you can't hit that price, I don't believe it's worth actually launching a vehicle. If it comes out in 55, 65K range, that's not really practical for the industry, especially given that the average price for that specific configuration in like a gas vehicle today is around $45,000. And we've done enough due diligence to know that we can achieve that given trends in battery cost and material cost, evaluations of existing pickup trucks on the market and what it takes to actually build those, low volume to high volume. And we're very confident we can hit that price. We just need your support to help us get us there.
I thought it was cool that you were showing that there's a lot of aftermarket. You're thinking about aftermarket for your truck. I'm not like a huge aftermarket person, but I know there's a lot of people out there who are. And so tell me a little bit about that.
So in the pickup truck industry, there's kind of two sides of it, right? One is the work side of it. And in that aftermarket industry, think replacing the bed with toolbox configurations or flatbeds. Maybe there's other accessory components for a work-based application. We want to make that as seamless and easy as possible for those companies that really build useful products to build high-quality, products very quickly. And we want them to actually launch those when we launch our product, not a year later or half a year later. We want them to get a head start. So we launched we will be launching an aftermarket portal where they can come in, basically they sign an agreement, and they will have the ability to request access to 3D models, to engineering information and data that helps them build high-quality products and innovative products for our vehicle. And then the other side of it is the enthusiast. So if we're building a pickup truck, I live in Phoenix. Half the vehicles here, I think, are lifted with big tires. Mm-hmm. You might not think efficiency with electric vehicles in terms of that, but that's not necessarily what's important because none of those guys do that for efficiency anyways. Mm-hmm. It's making sure that we have a great supporting kind of team on the aftermarket side. We want people who build lift kits and bumpers and crazy, great, amazing accessory products for the aftermarket kind of enthusiast industry to have that same ability. Today, the way it works is they may hire a third party, scan parts, create a 3D model, build that, and install it on the vehicle. And sometimes that leads to bad fitment. It might lead to safety concerns and things like that. We want to change that mindset. We want to give them the ability to get proper information so they can design high quality, safe, really reliable products, right, for the enthusiast market.
Well, I was saying to everyone here on the team that I was going to wait till I met you before I decided to invest. And so as people are watching this right now, they're going to see a screenshot of me investing in the company because I do believe in what you're doing. I really think it's important for our viewers to really consider going to your website, checking out what you're doing, and consider investing as well. I really like what you said a few minutes ago about the fact that you are, you're a small team, you're innovating, and you're not approaching problems the same way that big companies do. They have a lot of bureaucracy. They cannot innovate fast. And we're in a time right now where everything is fast innovation. And if you innovate fast enough, that's your moat against the rest of your competitors. And these competitors are using their just big bloated bank account as their moat. And that's not going to last. I think it sounds crazy to some of our viewers to say, well, how can this guy compete with these big companies or Tesla? But that's the same craziness that was said about Tesla, 15 years ago.
Right.
Just a bunch of guys in a garage trying to build something, and everyone's like, well, that sounds crazy. Yeah, it's a little crazy, but that's what it takes. That's kind of the American innovation, is that crazy, get in the garage, figure out a problem, and solve a problem. I'm really excited that you guys are working on it, so thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
We're number 65 on the list for the Tesla semi-truck. We're going to be driving all around this big country of ours, showing off, what electric vehicles can do. I would love to stop by your headquarters when that day comes and stop in and see how you guys are progressing. And I'd love to check back in with you guys from time to time.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark, for taking time today to talk to us and our viewers. And I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for watching Now You Know. We work hard to bring you videos about things that we think you'll find useful, but we need to know from you what you want to see. So leave your comments below. Also, don't forget to go over to our Patreon page, where for as little as $1 a month, you can watch our Patreon bonus story every week on Tesla Time News. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.